Hello, and welcome to another Predictive Fleet Technologies video. In this video, we are going to review our engine Polygraph product and show you how it works and what it can do for you. Our engine Polygraph is a set of tools, software, and advanced data analytics along with a report writer. All these components help assess the internal combustion engine for integrity and to help diagnose issues with the said engine. By assessment, we're referring to how your engine rate for physical integrity compares with engines in general. Is it in great shape? Is it dirty? Maybe getting caked up with carbon? Are some components wearing out? Nothing definitive here, we're more looking at the general condition. In terms of diagnostics, we derive abnormal observations from the data that we obtain from your engine as it's running or possibly in cold crank, and we compare that with the ideal engine similar to yours and present what are possible causes of the issues and suggest remedies. We also provide some additional data on your engine's design to help you more quickly digest the possibilities for quicker, more confident decisions. Meet applications architect James Mentally, who will review the hardware components to the engine polygraph.
And as you can see, we have a laptop computer. Attached to the laptop computer is a picoscope. This is a 4-channel, 2 or 4 or 8 channels can be used, but our software will only interpret up to 4 channels simultaneously. In addition, then we have piezoelectric sensors. They're first look sensors, but a little bit different than you might be used to in that these have a threaded nipple. And the purpose of the nipple is to allow various attachments to be threaded on. And the various attachments are for providing good access to different dipstick tubes. And so these attachments get threaded onto the sensor, and then the appropriate sized nose can be inserted into the oil dipstick tube. In the case of Cummins, they have a fairly unusual design with a cup on the top of the oil dipstick tube. And so we have this specific adapter to go down into that cup and get a good reading as to what's going on into the crankcase. I won't go through all of the attachments that we have for the various engines. For horizontal exhaust for most automobiles and many others, we use a silicone hose with a clamp on it to attach to the tailpipe itself, insert this into the tailpipe to pick up the signal, and then thread a first look sensor on the other end. Make sure that you don't pull these or push these into the silicone rubber, or you will ruin the end here and no longer get a good signal. Because then you need the cables to go, the BNC cables to go from the picoscope to your sensor, and then just follow the instructions on the screens, and you get prompted through the process to collect simultaneous data from multiple sensors and then have the software analyze it. So with that, we'll switch back to the software discussion and continue on from there. Thank you.
To obtain the engine polygraph reports, a subscription is required. We offer either a monthly subscription, or you may choose the pay-per-use option. Now, the components of the software begin with the EP Reader, a PC-based application that is used to edit the signals coming in from the various sensors. Once the signals look good, it will determine the correct duration and frequency for sampling the data, record that data to a file, format said file, and finally send it off to our servers. The second piece is the Engine Polygraph web-based software. It boasts similar features to the EP Reader, however it is less user-friendly. You can use the picoscope to capture your data, and then, once you are in range of an internet connection, the Engine Polygraph web tool can be utilized to upload this data. It also provides the management functions for the application. More details on management functions will be explained in a later video. The third component is Engine Angel Analytics. This software takes the data that has been collected from your engine and runs the mathematical analyses using advanced analytics, creating the assessment report comparing your engine to your general engine type. And secondly, It runs the optional diagnostic report, which takes the abnormal observations from your engine and produces a report of potential causes of these readings, along with providing suggested steps to remedy the issues. The EP Reader program helps you identify the vehicle you have, along with testing conditions and what is desired in terms of output. In the first section, you describe who the owner of the vehicle is, along with the engine manufacturer, and from the pull-down menu, select the model, and the system will then return the engine configuration and displacement while capturing more information about the engine itself. Secondly, we have the data of where the test is taking place. The date, the odometer reading on the vehicle. As a side note, if you are using hours of operation, that can be entered here instead. And finally, the engine temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius. Following that, you identify if you will be running the engine at load, which would be around 1500 RPM, being the RPM that you would be driving or at normal engine duty. You can also pick from idle or cold crank. You give an estimate of what the RPM will be during the test and where you are getting the estimate from. Following that, you identify which sensors are connected to which channels on the picoscope. Next, you must specify what the purpose of this test is. Is it a before or after test? If you have a trigger, you can specify which cylinder you are placing the trigger on. Then, use the drop-down menu to specify the type of report you want to receive. The Engine Polygraph menu is displayed here. It first presents the engine signatures that have been previously submitted with some of the data about them. The next menu selection provides a list of reports that can be selected and viewed. Next, it provides the EP Reader install so that you may install the software on any workstation needed. Here is a selection for user management to add new users and provide authorization to perform various functions. The company account screen is where you may enter your credit card information for charges and identify some of the specifics of the payment agreement. Finally, under My Account is where you can update your password as well as your contact information. From the list of previously entered signatures, you can select one of those and make some changes to the data, allowing you to generate a new report. This is in case you mistyped or realize that you wish to make a more meaningful comment on it to help retrieve in the future. The other purpose of the screen is to request an add screen for adding a new signature to the system, in which case you are repeating the kind of data referred to the Engine Polygraph input menu. Once you've submitted and the system has sent up the data and the analytics have been performed, you'll get back a report looking like this. Here we have the Engine Polygraph assessment page. This page is split into roughly two parts. The upper part displays the scores for the particular engine as it compares to other engines of its type. The lower portion describes the features that are being evaluated in fairly general terms. Going back to the first section, this information is split into two pieces, the upper and lower engine. The upper engine is getting most of its data from the exhaust signals, and the scores of the upper and lower engine are color-coded according to the scale here. Green is good, and red is bad. The upper engine has an excellent score overall. It can't detect any abnormal observations out of the pressure pulses of the exhaust. Secondly, the volumetric efficiency score is also a 1 on this engine. It's extremely good. Several factors often make that score higher. The valve lash adjustment might be off, or there's a carbon buildup. Really, anything that causes more turbulence in the airflow might increase that score. The upper engine parameter has to do with the high-frequency squealing. A valve may not be seated as well as it should to the head, and during the power stroke especially, you get a whistling. In this engine, none of that was detected, allowing us to conclude it's a tight engine. On the lower engine, down in the crankcase is where the bearings, the pistons, and ring issues would show up. This engine again is in excellent condition. The sub features we are looking for are rumble or an indication the engine is not running smoothly around the bearings or the cams. Also, a scraping sound, similar to chalk on a chalkboard, indicating that you might have a lubrication issue with the ring scraping against the cylinder wall. General descriptions of what is assessed in the engine can be seen here in the below report. The next report we have is the diagnostic report. This would display the abnormal observations of the engine. In this case, we have a different engine than the one on the assessment page. This engine does have some issues with it. The abnormal observation was a big dip in one cylinder in the crankcase, implying that there was a large vacuum pull for that cylinder. The statement regarding black smoke on the open throttle is more of a question. If you find that this is true, it suggests that there is an increased possibility that it is the root cause. However, if it does not occur, then it may not be the cause of the issue. We have, in this case, multiple possible causes, and those questions can help us distinguish the potential root cause of the issue. The confidence factor for each cause is pretty high, so it's very possible that both issues may be contributing to the overall problem. The cause suggested for the first issue is a large vacuum due to the intake stroke pulling vapors from the crankcase into the cylinder chamber above that particular piston, and the piston has poor compression rings, or they are caked into one position with carbon deposits, not allowing for the rings to fluctuate as the piston moves up and down. As indicated, we have a large confidence factor, suggesting that these possible causes are very likely to be the case. Finally, we have some suggestions to help alleviate the issues. In this case, we suggest some kind of carbon cleaner. If that doesn't take care of it, then you may have to replace some of the rings. Thanks a lot for joining us for this video. For more information, please visit us at predictivefleettechnologies.com. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at any time at support@predictivefleettechnologies.com. And as always, be on the lookout for more videos from us.